Good day everyone, this is group number 11 and we are going to report the Department of Transportation. So we are going to tackle about its brief history, its mandate, its legal basis, functions, sectoral and attached agencies. So let's start. Good day everyone, again this is Rodney or Ruiz and I'm going to report the brief history, the mandate and legal basis of the Department of Transportation. So let's start. So what is the Department of Transportation? The Department of Transportation or DOTR is an agency under the executive branch of the Philippine government. It is tasked with overseeing matters regarding the country's transportation sector. So ang DOTR o ang Department of Transportation ang nangangasiwa para sa mga transportation matters dito sa ating bansa. In transportation systems and services, DOTR is the policy, planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, and administrative entity. For the brief history of the DOTR, from 1899 to 1979, the government integrated all transportation activities into the Ministry of Public Works, Transportation, and Communication or the MPWTC. So lahat na activities ay inintegrate sa Ministry of Public Works, Transportation, and Communication nung period ng 1899 to 1979. On July 23, 1979, Executive Order Number 546 was issued. MPWTC was divided into two separate agencies. So, dinivide ang MPWTC sa dalawang agencies. Una, ang Ministry of Transportation and Communications or the MOTC at ang pangalawa ay ang Ministry of Public Works and Highways or the MPWH. On January to April 1987, the Executive Order Number 125 was issued, or it is the reorganization of the Ministry of Transportation and Communication or the MOTC. So nagkaroon ng reorganization ng Ministry of Transportation and Communication noong January to April 1987 sa bisa ng Executive Order Number 125 na naitpatupad noon. Next is the Executive Order Number 125A that amends the Executive Order Number 125. MOTC was changed into DOTC. So from 2015 to present, the Republic Act Number 10844 was implemented and states that it is the creation of the Department of Information and Communications Technology or the DICT. The DOTC was renamed the Department of Transportation. The Department of Transportation or the DOTR has also its own agency's mandate. So mandate means an order to do something. The Department of Transportation or DOTR is the primary policy, planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, and administrative entity of the executive branch of the government on the promotion, development, and regulation of a dependable and coordinated network of transportation and communication systems, as well as in the fast, safe, efficient, and reliable transportation and communication services. So sinasabi dito sa mandate ng DOTR na sila ang primary policy, planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, and administrative entity of the executive branch of the government. So sila din ang nakatoka para sa pagpapalaganap ng reliable transportation and communication services as well as the fast, safe, and efficient transportation dito sa ating bansa. For the agency's legal basis, the Executive Order Number 546 Series of 1979 was issued. It is also known as the creating a Ministry of Public Works and the Ministry of Transportation and Communications. Restructured the Ministry of Public Works, Transportation and Communication, Ministry of Transportation and Communications or MOTC, tasked with constructing, repairing, and maintaining public works facilities. Ministry of Public Works and Highways or the MPWH was charged with matters on transportation and communication facilities and services. Kung titignan natin yung Executive Order Number 546 Series of 1979, binigyan ng dalawang tungkulin ang MOTC at MPWH. Binigyan sila ng magkaibang tungkulin. In Executive Order Number 125 Series of 1987, it is also known as the Reorganizing the Ministry of Transportation and Communications, defining its powers and functions and other purposes. Due to the increasing complexity of the transportation sector, there was a reorganization of the MOTC's organizational and functional structure. Under this act, MOTC's powers, functions, and other purposes were defined and changed into the Department of Transportation and Communications, or the DOTC. Next is the Executive Order Number 125A, Series of 1987, amends the Executive Order Number 125 stating reorganizing the Ministry of Transportation and Communications, defining its powers and for other purposes, and also to amend some sections such as Section 5. In Republic Act Number 10844, Section 15A6, it is an act creating the Department of Information and Communication Technology, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds, therefore and for other purposes. Established the Department of Information and Communication Technology, or the DICT. DOTC's communication agencies are abolished and transferred to DICT. Other agencies not covered are retained under the DOTC, renamed as the Department of Transportation. And that's all for the brief history, the mandate, and legal basis of the Department of Transportation. Again, this is Rodney Ruiz.
After knowing the agency's legal basis, alamin naman natin ngayon yung functions niya. So the Department of Transportation oversees matters regarding the country's transportation sector. So this includes planning and coordinating transportation projects and setting safety regulations for various modes of transportation. Pero yung primary functions niya ay policy formulation, industry or service regulation, infrastructure development, and international cooperation in regard to the transportation sector. For policy formulation, so the department can formulate or gumawa at magrekomenda ng mga national policies and guidelines na gagamitin para sa paghahanda at pagpapatupad ng mas comprehensive transportation system dito sa bansa. So, formulation of many policies, rules, and regulations na may kinalaman sa transportation will be under DOTR. For industry or service regulation naman, ang DOTR ay responsible for regulating and supervising all modes of transportation, including air, land, and sea. So, they have the power para magbigay and magpatupad ng lahat ng laws, rules, regulations para ma-uphold ang kaligtasan at kaayusan sa sektor ng transportasyon. For infrastructure development naman, the department also oversees the development, rehabilitation, improvement, construction, maintenance, and reparation of all infrastructure projects and facilities of the department and the country, with cooperation yan from DPWH. For international cooperation, so the department also oversees yung mga airports, railways, shipping ports, and highways sa buong bansa. So since we have international flights or yung mga shipping coming in and out of the country, it's necessary to maintain international cooperation with other countries since may kinalaman ito sa country's economy or yung economic development ng bansa natin. For more specific powers and functions of the department, we included in our presentation the Section 5 of Executive Order Number 125A, Series 1987, which is the specific powers and functions of DOTC, not DOTR, but the Department of Transportation and Communications. Formulate and recommend national policies and guidelines for the preparation and implementation of integrated and comprehensive transportation and communications systems at the national, regional, and local levels. Establish and administer comprehensive and integrated programs for transportation and communications, and for this purpose, may call on any agency, corporation, or organization whether public or private, whose development programs include transportation and communications as an integral part thereof, to participate and assist in the preparation and implementation of such program. Assess, review, and provide direction to transportation and communication research and development programs of the government in coordination with other institutions concerned. Administer and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations in the field of transportation and communications. Coordinate with the Department of Public Works and Highways in the design, location, development, rehabilitation, improvement, construction, maintenance, and repair of all infrastructure projects and facilities of the department. However, government corporate entities attached to the department shall be authorized to undertake specialized telecommunications, ports, airports, and railways projects and facilities as directed by the President of the Philippines or as provided by law. Establish, operate, and maintain a nationwide postal system that shall include mail processing, delivery services, and money order services, and promote the art of philately. Issue certificates of public convenience for the operation of public land and rail transportation utilities and services. Accredit foreign aircraft manufacturers and/or international organizations for aircraft certification in accordance with established procedures and standards. Establish and prescribe rules and regulations for identification of routes, zones, and/or areas of operations of particular operators of public land services.
J. Establish and prescribe rules and regulation for the establishment, operation, and maintenance of such telecommunication facilities in areas not adequately served by the private sector in order to render such domestic and overseas services that are necessary with due consideration for advances in technology. K. Establish and prescribe rules and regulation for the operation and maintenance of a nationwide postal system that shall include mail processing, delivery services, money order services, and promotion of philately. L. Establish and prescribe rules and regulations for issuance of certificates of public convenience for public land transportation utilities such as motor vehicles, trimobiles, and railways. M. Establish and prescribe rules and regulations for the inspection and registration of air and land transportation facilities such as motor vehicle, trimobiles, railways, and aircrafts. N. Establish and prescribe rules and regulation for the issuance of licenses to qualified motor vehicle drivers, conductors, and airmen. O. Establish and prescribe the corresponding rules and regulation for the enforcement of laws governing land transportation, air transportation, and postal services, including the penalties for violations thereof and for the diffusion of appropriate law enforcement agencies in pursuance thereof. P. Determine, fix, and prescribe charges and rate pertinent to the operation of public air and land transportation utility facilities and services, except such rate and charges as may be prescribed by the Civil Aeronautic Board under its charter, and in cases where charges or rates are established by international bodies or association of which the Philippines is participating member, or by bodies or association recognized by the Philippine government as the proper arbiters of such charges or rates. Q. Establish and prescribe the rules and regulation procedure and standard for the accreditation of driving schools. R. Administer and operate the Civil Aviation and Training Center and the National Telecommunication Training Institute and perform such other powers and functions as may be prescribed by law, or as may be necessary, incidental, or proper to its mandate, or as may be assigned from time to time by the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
So natapos na natin ngayon ang powers and functions. Alamin naman natin ngayon kung ano-ano ang sectoral offices ng DOTR. Now, going to the sectoral offices of the DOTR, it is divided into the land transport and maritime transport. For land transport, we have the LTO and LTFRB, and PCG naman for maritime transport. Let's learn about LTO or the Land Transportation Office first. So the LTO promotes the safety and comfort of the traveling public with respect to motor vehicles. So, yun ang mission ng LTO, yung promotion ng safety at comfort sa land travel or transportation. So, nagagawa nila yan through sa functions nila na collecting various fees from the registration of motor vehicles, yung issuance ng mga licenses sa mga qualified motor vehicle drivers, issuance rin ng mga license plate sa mga motor vehicles, yung enforcement of transportation laws, rules and regulations, tsaka yung collection ng mga fines and penalties para sa mga motor vehicle related infractions. Ang next naman ay ang LTFRB or the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. So, the LTFRB was created with the goal of simplifying the land transportation industry franchising system. So, dito yung public utility vehicles or yung mga pampublikong mga sasakyan like bus, jeep, taxi. So, since the creation of the LTFRB, the issuance of franchises for land transport operators has become more stringent, mas strict na sa pagbibigay ng mga prangkisa sa mga public utility vehicle drivers na nagre-result naman siya in a higher safety standards for land travel. So, yung mga technical evaluation staff natin ensures that operating and safety standards of commercial and private vehicles are observed prior to the issuance of operating franchises. So, ine-evaluate muna yan bago bigyan ng mga prangkisa or license to operate. So, tandaan natin, ang kinaibahan ni LTO kay LTFRB ay si LTO ay in charge sa mga private cars dito sa ating bansa. At si LTFRB naman ay responsible sa mga public utility vehicles, pero parehas nilang sakop ang land transportation. Now let's move on to the Sectoral Office for Maritime Transport, which is the PCG or Philippine Coast Guard. So the Philippine Coast Guard is an armed and uniformed service primarily tasked with enforcing all applicable laws within the Philippine waters. So sila yung isa sa tagapagbantay sa territorial waters ng ating bansa. Sila yung nagpapatrolya, nagko-conduct ng maritime security operations, nag-safeguard ng life and property sa sea, and syempre, nagproprotekta rin ng marine environment and resources natin.
Attached agencies under the Department of Transportation. Here's the attached agencies of Department of Transportation. First, OTS, Office for Transportation Security. Under the OTS are Civil Aviation, Maritime Transport, and Land Transport. Now let's talk about what are the agencies under the Civil Aviation. First, CAAP or Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. Second, MIA, Manila International Airport Authority. Third, CIAC or Clark International Airport Corporation. Fourth, CAB or Civil Aeronautic Board. Fifth, MCIAA or Mactan Cebu International Airport Authority. Next, Maritime Transport. PPA or Philippine Port Authority. Second, Marina, Maritime Industry Authority. Third, CPA or Cebu Port Authority. Fourth, PMMA or Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. Last, Land Transport, TRB, Toll Regulatory Board. Second, Office of Transport Cooperative. Third, PNR or Philippine National Railways. Fourth, LRTA or Light Rail Transit Authority. Office for Transportation Security. The Office for Transportation Security is a single authority responsible for the security of the transportation system of the country, including but not limited to the following: civil aviation, sea transport and maritime infrastructure, land transportation, rail system and infrastructure. It was created by virtue of Executive Order Number 277 in response to the international mandate and calling for a single authority for all modes of transportation security in the Philippines. Executive Order 311 was issued on April 26, 2004. Ngayon ay ating pag-uusapan ang iba't ibang tungkulin ng mga ahensya na nakapaloob sa civil aviation. First, we have CAAP, which is Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. The CAAP is responsible for implementing policies on civil aviation in order to ensure safe, economical, and efficient air travel. As an independent regulatory body with quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative powers, the CAAP is mandated to set comprehensive, clear and impartial rules and regulations for the Philippine aviation industry. Second, MIA, or Manila International Airport Authority. Created by Executive Order 778, the MIA provides safe, efficient, and reliable airport facilities for international and domestic travel at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. It is also tasked with promoting NAIA as a center for international trade and tourism. Third, CIAC, Clark International Airport Corporation. The CIAC fully commits to provide quality management of airport infrastructure and services in order to realize our vision to be premier world-class airport of the Philippines by 2020, the secondary airport of choice by 2017, and a competitive aviation services center in the Asia-Pacific region by 2015. Fourth, the CAB. The CAB, or Civil Aeronautic Board, is tasked with regulating, promoting, and developing the economic aspect of civil aviation in the Philippines. The CAB regulates the lease, purchase, and sales of aircraft, along with overseeing consolidations and mergers of domestic air carriers. PIP or MCIAA, Mactan Cebu International Airport Authority. The MCIAA is in charge of operating and maintaining the Mactan International Airport, which is currently the premier gateway to the Central Visayas. The MCIAA provides airport safety and security and also implements airport rules and regulations. Ngayon naman ay aking ipapaliwanag kung ano nga ba ang iba't ibang tungkulin ng mga ahensya na nakapaloob sa land transport. First, we have the TRP or Toll Regulatory Board. The Toll Regulatory Board supervises and regulates the construction, operation, and maintenance of toll facilities and is also responsible for the collection of toll fees. Second, OTC or Office of Transport Cooperative. OTC's objective is to integrate the transport cooperative programs into the public transport and transit system in order to achieve economies of scale with respect to fuel consumption. Third, Philippine National Railway. The PNR was created to provide a nationwide railway transportation system. Fourth, LRTA, Light Rail Transit Authority. The LRTA was created to oversee the construction and operation of the light rail transit project. Ngayon naman ay ating pag-uusapan ang iba't ibang tungkulin ng mga ahensya na nakapaloob sa maritime transport at kung ano-ano nga ba ang mga tungkulin nito. First, we have Philippine Port Authority. The PPA is the primary government agency concerned with the planning and development of the country's seaport. Second, Maritime Industry Authority. The Marina oversees the promotion and development of the maritime industry and also provide effective regulation of shipping enterprises. Third, Cebu Port Authority. The CPA mandate is to administer all ports located in Cebu Province, thus effectively separating this port from the Philippine Port Authority system. Fourth, Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. The PMMA is tasked with producing efficient and well-trained merchant marine officer of an international caliber.